If you're small, if you're short, if you're ugly, and you don't know what you're doing, you can't cut corners. You have to be in the best shape of your life. You have to work out, flatten that stomach, get it as hard and flat as you possibly can. You have to be adept at fighting skills with your body, with your fists. I admire Rocky Marciano with a Charlie Goldman as his trainer that turned that pure lump of coal into a diamond. You could say The Rock had the genetics, even though he was physically at a disadvantage because of the height and the short arms. But it's a great role model for the short man, a wonderful role model. It tells you that you have to get yourself in the shape of your life, get in great shape. Mentally and physically, your mind has to be tough, alert, and hard. Your body has to be as hard and well-conditioned, stamina, endurance, and muscle. Functional, effective muscle that you can take out into the environment and make an impression. So you don't have to cringe. You don't have to back down to protect yourself because you're afraid, because you feel inferior because of your height and your appearance. You have to dress to impress. The clothes you choose to wear have to be meticulously chosen. You have to pay severe attention to your appearance. It has to be better than a Marine Corps inspection. Shoes polished. This is the most important thing. That's why I like Frank Sinatra. The trousers have to be well tailored and fit perfectly, and fit in such a way you should wear black clothes, dark black. You have to pick on clothing that make you look taller. He needs verticality. He's fighting for verticality, or the illusion of verticality. He should wear a fedora if he has a big moon face. He should wear a fedora. He's got to assess his features. Look in the mirror from the sides, from the back. How do you look? So important. Then he has to go out there and learn how to read. We're talking about the women, right? No, we're talking about the men too. Because if you don't handle yourself with the men, if you give them unmerited respect because of your inferiority feelings, because you're a short man, and you have no appearance and no personality, objectively speaking, you have to learn to give to yourself what your environment, what your world won't give you. It's not because the environment is bad or good, or it's right or it's wrong. That's why I can't go along with the socialist agenda of a Bernie Sanders. You cannot. That's why I like the Trumpster. I like the reality blast of the Donald. The world's a cold, hard motherfucker. The social world I'm talking about. I'm talking about the world of your fellow human reality that you have to deal with, or you're alone. If I go with a man, I'm 10 feet tall. If I go with the scum, I'm on the ground. What if I choose not? No, if I go with the scum, I'm finished. I'm through. What if I choose to go with nobody and choose to be alone because I don't want to? I'm not prepared to go through all this bullshit. And by the way, the man is not better than the scum. They're both the same. It's a continuum. You have to learn to be able to adapt at dealing with both of them, so you don't get a sentimental reaction to the result of the combat. You take it as a learning experience, and then you come back with better honed skills, better self-mastery, better tools, improved techniques to use those tools in the real world. And to know when, how, and where to use them to your advantage. Know your opponent. You be in control. Know the woman. You can only do that if you're well prepared. Never miss an opportunity to train and get honed skills and to be better prepared. He's a winner if he comes into the social situation with only one objective. He's going to learn. He's going to grow. Win or lose has nothing to do with good or bad, right or wrong, has nothing to do with it. It's a learning experience. It's a lesson learned, and he has to move on, and we move on. We let go, and we move on. We have to know when to let go and when to say enough is enough, and when to cry uncle and how to cry uncle. And the worst thing that can be done is what I call the hanging on bite. You won't let go when you should let go. When you let go of the bite, you don't want to be a pit bull and bite onto one spot, because then you become myopic, you become blind, and you become compulsive in your behavior. You're going to go wrong because you can't see the periphery. You don't hear, you don't listen to the music. You're just focusing on one selective fact and trying to break your social opponent down at that point. And you can't see 360 degrees, and you have to have a 360-degree vision of what's going on socially. You have to be able to listen to yourself, what you're saying, what your mouth is saying. Become your mouth, become your eyes, become your ears, become your body language in this situation. What am I saying? What am I doing? How am I doing it? What kind of responses am I getting? How am I dealing with those responses? How am I processing those responses that I'm getting? And how am I reacting and responding to them both? Not one over the other. Respond or react. One is not better than the other. If you're trained, if you know what to do, if it's innovated, you can react, and that's a lot faster. And you can react correctly. And that's a lot faster than the response where you have to step back and think and weigh what's going on. Remember, most of these things happen on the fly. You don't have the time. And your opponent, your social adversary, will not give you the space that you need. It's not a Twilight Zone. You can't stop it. It's not a movie. You can't script it. You can script your performance. And then you, psychologically and socially, you can influence what the other actor's doing. But you're a short man, you're an ugly man, nobody's going to take you seriously. No one's going to give you credibility. You come in there already at a disadvantage. And the question is, how can you level the field? Not even the score. How can you put some advantage that is naturally denied to you because of your height, your appearance, your personality, and your material backup? If you can't buy your way out of this situation, that's going to take a lot of money to buy your way out of it. Maybe you win the lotto. No, guy, I'm afraid you're going to have to bite the bullet and deal with the hand you've been dealt. That's all. You have to understand the hand you've been dealt and know how to understand it in a accurate way, in a realistic, practical, street smart way, and then figure out the moves, the strategies that you want to put together to work with what you got. That's the 500 yards of pure shit. That's the resistances. That's the biases, the prejudices. The prejudices, I mean, toward your appearance, your personality. And it's open season on the small, short man who has no appearance. He's in the shadow of his more attractive, appealing TDH. He's in the shadow. How does he come out of the shadow? How does he put himself in a position? How does he train himself into a position to where he doesn't have to go in the back door and crawl under the door? We can walk in the front door. Where he can stand up to that taller man who's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 inches taller than him. And it's not just the verticality, it's the physical presence too that's at stake. And looks better in his clothes because of the verticality. How does he stand up to him proudly like a man, without being humble and intimidated, and without being jealous and covet what he's getting, that the short, small man has to work so hard for? He had to work 10 times as hard. And you have to suck it up. Suck it up, soldier. Suck it up. Suck in that belly. Throw out that chest. Throw back those shoulders. Get the chin up. At least look like you know what you're doing. Act like you know what you're doing. You can't do anything without discipline, focus, and maturity. The sooner you learn that, the better off you're going to be. The sooner you learn, and that's why I like the Trumpster, the biggest lie ever been told is man, as a social animal, is inherently good. He wants to do good, he wants to do right, but it's the system, it's capital, it's the institutions, and it's the laissez-faire capital of Emil Friedman that makes him bad, because he has to be competitive, he has to be ruthless, but that fails to take into account what Dr. Freud said, and he was correct. Lupus hominis lupus, man, the wolf to man, that's endemic to his nature. And Conrad Lorenz on aggression say man is nothing but a trousered ape. He's an ape because of the greed principle that's primordial, that grounds everything, in my opinion. What's in it for me? Now, most people, because they develop a personality, that's the phony front you put up in front of the world to survive, to get your needs met, and to sell yourself and your bullshit. That's the phony front. To actualize the greed principle, what's in it for me? That's why I like Doc Thompson, Verbal Judo, when he says, doesn't it make sense if I package it very carefully in terms of what's in it for him, what does he have to gain, and I paint pictures of what his advantage in this situation is, and my words are ordered to that effect, and that to effect that result, I'm going to succeed if I can convince him and talk in terms of what's in it for him. What does he have to gain? What does he have to lose right now? That I have a better chance of being effective communicating with him? You have to listen to what the woman says, not only with the words, but with the body language. And you have to be obedient and disciplined and philosophically focused to what they're really saying and what they're really needing right here and now. not what you've invented, not what the phony story you tell yourself because you want to give yourself Alice in Wonderland, something that your society won't give you, predicated on your appearance, your personality, your training, your skills. And you're not able, so you think somebody else will care. But each has their own. None has the time. If you want a hand, look at the end of your arm for your hand. That's the only hand you'll ever get. If somebody helps you, it's not gratis. They want something for it. There's always a price. Ask yourself, what's the price? There's always a price. And ask yourself, look down the road in the future when that price is going to be called. When that individual, that other social performer does you a favor, he's got your mark. And he's going to call that mark at a time when it's most inopportune for you and not at your propitious moment. And if you try to be slick and try to hustle him, you're going to be found out. You can only get away with it so far. You're going to be exposed. You're going to be found out as a cheap hustler. That's why I don't like Bernie Sanders. He's creating a lot of problems. He's putting a lot of false hope. His liberalism, his socialism, is putting a lot of false hope. A lot of bullshit dreams are going to create a lot of trouble and a lot of demands on a society that realistically is not set up to deliver it. That's why I like the Trumpster. That's why I like Mill Freeman. Laissez-faire, the free marketplace. This is a harsh position, but it tells the truth. It tells the truth. And the freedom, the only freedom the individual has is the freedom he's forged for himself, marching through. And specifically, if he's ugly, he's short, and he's got to march through 500 yards of pure shit of negativity to work his way to some veins of gold for himself that he has to mine out of there. But he has to know how to mine it out of there, and he can't be jealous of his TDH that's getting it according to what he sees easily. And he has to work so hard. He can't be jealous. He has to get it again in the greed principle. What's to my advantage? My, I. To say and do in this situation, what can I get out of it? What do I want out of it for myself? Why am I here? Why am I doing it? What do I want out of it for myself? Then out of that, he gets through all that, and he has control of that. That's the I, that's the ego that he has to forge in a hot oven. The ego is what gets needs met. Material needs specifically, concrete, street smart, practical needs is what I'm talking about, not some dream, not some masturbation fantasy you come up with as an escape from the cold, hard winter blast of reality out there. But ironically, you're better off with a winter blast of reality than your dreams and your fantasies. Forget your cock and pull up a sock. Let go of your cock and pull up a sock. Let go of the fantasies, the delusions, the hallucinations, the dreams, the wishful thinking of your masturbation fantasies, and pull up a sock and go to work. Grow. Challenge yourself. Keep asking yourself the tough, hard questions. Be ruthless in the prosecution of yourself. Learn from everything that you do. Turn it to your advantage. Filter it through 500 yards of pure shit. And that's the only scenario where you can get some positive, where you have to mind the positive, or be a sucker for admonished positive, pithy sayings, bullshit sermons and lectures and encouragements signifying nothing, that only create more need for that admonishment, for that phony encouragement, for that dreams, for those castles in the air. Forget your cock. Pull up a sock. Never trust what a woman tells you. They're the biggest bullshitters. A woman is trained to lie creatively, to make excuses creatively, and to sell it. And this goes 10 times for my little shorty, my Quasimodo man, my De La Kiki man, my troll, my dwarf, my midget, as judged, stereotyped, caricatured by his environment. And the environment is the other social performer who stands at the gate, who stands at the door, who's the censor, who says no to the short man. You don't get in. You don't get in, short, small man. You are ugly, short, small man. You make me cringe, little short man. You are an eyesore. You are viscerally repulsive. And he has to start with that reality and work his way through it, challenge it with street smart, practical wisdom. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of learning that's necessary. And he's got to practice and hone skills relentlessly, and he never stops. To stop is to become paralyzed to act and to lose. Motion is everything. He cannot be a sitting target. He's got to be a moving target, especially because of the way he looks. He has to know how to disappear creatively and effectively. He has to make sure he always has invitation to proceed. He watches the cues, the body language, and he knows what kind of attention. He knows how to work quality attention. Bad attention is not better than no attention. That's your job, and it's going to come 10 times as hard for the short, small man as his more vertically advantaged adversary. Them are the cards he's been dealt. Them are the cards he's been dealt. Deal with it, or watch yourself spiral continuously downhill.